first thing I'm wondering is why Mark Levin plays stadium rock at the beginning of his show and claims to be broadcasting from a bunker under the brick and steel of a nondescript building. And the answer comes to me at once. Rock is, like it or not, the music of rebellion, and he is pretending to be a voice from what we used to call the underground, and nowadays refer to as the resistance. In fact, Mark Levin is a stooge for the rich, a phony rebel with a whiny voice that would identify him as a sellout in any venue other than one where spouting bullshit is the norm. Conservative talk radio. I'm here to respond to his sermon to the faithful about how the loss of Arlen Specter as a Republican senator is no problem for the Republicans. Let's start with a view from the reality zone, a place Levin avoids like cats avoid water. Specter is one powerful dude, and smarter than hell. Time and again, we've seen him feint left, veer right, and head down court to sink the shot for the Republicans. He has the ability to sound like the voice of reason. He's a graduate of Yale Law School, an Air Force veteran, and the 12th most senior member of the Senate. He is the chairman of the Senate Committee on the Judiciary, chairman of the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs, and the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Just take the Judiciary Commission. He is top dog on the committee that will clear all Obama's nominees to the federal bench, including the next Supreme Court Justice who will replace outgoing Justice Souter. If this were a chess game, the Republicans just lost more than a bishop or a knight. They lost a rook, and they are going to miss him. But Levin's listeners won't get the facts. They'll get this silly accusation.
Arlen Specter was and is a self-serving, backstabbing egomaniac.
People who disagree with Levin fall into two categories, dishonest or delusional. The truth, as revealed to Levin by Reagan's ghost, no doubt, is that the party has become a minority party because it has tried to be all things to all people, a process that has been going on since 1989, the end of the Reagan era.
Since Reagan, the party has nominated Bush 41, Dole, Bush 43, and McCain. All spent their careers trying to define conservatism down. All spent their careers apologizing for conservatism. All would invoke Reagan and claim to be conservative at times, but most of the time they weren't and they couldn't explain it. For the most part, they rejected the conservative foundation laid by Reagan and the conservative movement over the years and embraced a form of New Deal or Great Society governance. Always playing defense.
Tell you what, I really want to give Mark Levin a chance. So I'm going to look at his picture and try to surrender to his charisma.
Oh yeah, now it's working. I remember it all now, just like it was yesterday. The 8 years under Bush, what did we call him? The Uniter, wasn't it? Right, Mark. Karl Rove. Closet Democrat, Dick Cheney, always making concessions, and Alberto Gonzalez, claiming to approve of torture, but actually a mole for the ACLU.
It feels so good to reimagine reality. This is better than believing in the Dalai Lama or Deepak Chopra or Kabbalah. Under the influence of Levin, I can believe anything. And the way he artfully turns a phrase, flipping around sentence structures, it overpowers my resistance. Listen to this.
History will soon forget Arlen Specter, and those who defend his actions today and seek to dispirit and demoralize conservatives are small-minded actors who are contributing to the building of a society in which they too will be doomed.
Doomed. That's straight out of the comic books. Zap, pow, kaboom, doom. And with that, Specter's history. Or less than history. Just roadkill on the political highway. Scum under Levin's boot. With his scum out of the way, he's ready to get back to his important job. After selling fish oil, of course. Shilling for the rich. Listen to this. And this time, to accentuate the delivery, I'll give you a little visual accompaniment.
Now, if we cannot gather the courage and the confidence to stand against the soft tyranny of our day, where GM and Chrysler are being nationalized in front of our eyes by the federal government, with big chunks of the companies being delivered to the UAW, where the banks are being forced to turn their operations over to the federal government through a massive stock flipping scheme, where the government is taking over our health care system, where the government is stealing the wealth of future generations as well as our own wealth.
God, Mark is mad about those bailouts. Yeah, the billions that have been given away. That's not what's bothering him. The problem is, the money for corporations and banks isn't free. To hell with the people who build the cars, the auto workers. They don't need to be incentivized. They don't need bonuses to keep them going in their pathetic little jobs. They aren't bankers who have a necessary role in the future reorganization of the company. No, no, no. Only people who wear pinstripe suits get to receive massive funding and retention bonuses. If you give power and money to the blue-collar guys, that's communism. It's okay to bail out banks, but not to demand stock in them. You can pour money down Wall Street's throat, but you can't ask them to do a flinkin' thing. And nightmare of nightmares, the government wants to provide people with health care. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Only old people should get health care. Only drug companies should receive massive infusions of federal money through prescription drug buying deals. There's a flu sweeping the nation, but I personally will be better off if the person flipping my burger, coughing on my lettuce, pays for his own health care. Or it doesn't. The government is stealing the wealth of future generations, as well as our own wealth, shouts Mark. Is he talking about the additional 600,000 unemployed people who have lost their jobs every month since the beginning of the year? 20,000 a day? Hell no. They don't have any stinking wealth to lose. Maybe he's worried about the 500,000 homeowners in Arizona, Nevada, California, Florida, and Illinois who received foreclosure notices in the first 3 months of the year. No, he's not talking about them. Their wealth is gone, but the government didn't take it. The bankers did. And Mark works for the bankers night and day, deflecting the righteous hatred of his listeners towards some Obama-shaped boogeyman, some hateable, liberal, socialized monolith that came out of Washington and ate their wallet. They just want their pride back, their jobs back, their clear black and white, us versus them world. Hell, they don't know what they want. They don't understand politics. But when they listen to Mark, with his fancy turns of phrase, stirring exhortations to stand for principle, they think they do. And when Mark drops his voice low and asks what we've come to at this point in our national life, they can imagine themselves standing straight and tall, like one of the Minutemen, like Paul Revere, or Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, or Sam Adams. But in those days, guys like Levin weren't talking revolution. They were talking about how the king's rule was just, and holding forth about the rights that we had as servants of the crown. Because guys like Mark, who play rock music but hate real rebels, who talk about we've lost our freedoms but shill for the rich, they're not patriots. They're bullshit artists. Thomas Jefferson and Sam Adams would know him for a poser, and a dangerous one at that.
Das deutsche Volk ist glücklich in dem Bewusstsein, dass die ewige Flucht der Erscheinungen nunmehr endgültig abgelöst wurde von einem ruhenden